Hello, spider friends. I know, another tarantula rehouse video, and so soon. Well, it was because I've freed up some of my pots, and I'm now moving some of my actual smallest tarantulas into my tub enclosures. I've said that after these ones, I'm never getting slings again. I've said that, not counting breeding. Just because it's just too heartbreaking when you lose slings and they die. So I've said from now on I'm just going to try and stick with juvies and sub-adults and adults, because who wants to go through the pain? This is Cherry, who is my Hapalopus Columbia big form pumpkin patch, who's generally been quite an easy spider to deal with. I've just basically ended up putting her whole pot into the tub because I didn't want to fight with her, and she was looking like she was gearing up for one. She just ate the other day, so I don't think she's hungry or anything. I just think she's awkward. So she was successfully rehoused, didn't take long at all, and then I could move on to the next one. The next one being Jinx, who is a Brazilian red and a Handu carapoensis. None of these slings are really featured on my channel just because they're so small, and they've been living in sling pots. But now that they're all getting a bit bigger, they've all molted several times, and I like them to have a little bit of space. I don't believe keeping like spiders in sling pots when they're far too big for them. It's just, I like spiders to have room. So they've all got a little bit of cork bark. I did manage to find my remaining cork bark supply, and they get a little bit of plant plastic, and they get a little water dish each, seeing as how I've found also my water dishes from wherever they were hiding, which is basically other tarantulas' enclosures. Jinx is the only one that actually came out of his sling pot. The others just ended up putting the pot inside the enclosure for them to come out on their own, and then I'll take the pot away, because I sometimes use those for storing like malts, so I can track growth rates of my tarantulas. So Jinx was quite easy to rehouse. Also, it means that the springtails that were in their little pots are going to move into their new enclosures, which is handy. But yes, he went in quite quickly, quite easily. So hopefully when I check on these like tomorrow and then the next day, they'll be settled in. The ones I rehoused the other day, they've already started webbing. They're all looking really good. So that was, I think, quite successful. You might notice that one of the pots is on the side there. That was sort of an experiment. I just, like, when I put them in their sling pots, I just laid one on its side just to see how it would get on. And it's fine. But now he's moving to a bigger enclosure, so it doesn't really matter. The next one that I'm rehousing is my Torino Palma size my Brazilian blue. He's called Ganja. He's a sweet little spider. Is been a little bit of trouble when I was first sort of rehousing them. He decided he was going to go for a run up and down my arms, which frightened me just a little bit because I wasn't expecting it, and I really didn't want to squish him because he was so tiny. But he's a bit bigger now, so slightly less to worry about. But again, I just ended up taking the lid off. I was trying to actually get him out, but he just sort of kept retreating to the back of his enclosure, to the base where he'd made a little tunnel. So I thought, I'm not going to fight this battle. I'm just going to put him in. He'll come out on his own in his own time, and I'm sure he'll be fine. If you're curious, by the way, about where to get these little tiny pieces of corkbark, you don't get them as little tiny pieces of corkbark. I did not know this. You buy a large piece of corkbark and then you sort of break it up by hand. Yes, I am that stupid that I didn't know that that's what you do. Originally, I was just buying big bits of cork bark, and like, it's too big to go in the enclosure. Yeah, that was me being very stupid. That was just then. I was just trying to shake off some springtails. I didn't want to waste the springtails. It's weird with mine because, like, at one point, every single enclosure, even though I put them in a couple, had springtails, and now the springtails are only present in a few of the enclosures. It's very strange. I don't know what's happened to the springtails, but I know they're easy enough to multiply, so I can just sort of get another pot of them and start a new colony, and it shouldn't take very long at all. There's me desperately trying to get them out, and it just didn't work, so I have to rearrange everything to put the flipping pot into the flipping enclosure. But hopefully they'll be happier in this tub, and will grow up to be a big strong boy. Then after Ganja here, the last one that I'm going to be rehousing is a tarantula I call Teal. It's a Colombian red rump, Sericopelma size, formerly Brachypelma, but was reclassified. This one's actually the largest of the 4 slings that I was rehousing, and this is the one that was in the sideways pot, which was interesting as an experiment because sling pots are tall, and which is great if you've got like an arboreal, but like if you've got a terrestrial, actually it gave him quite a bit more room to move around in. So if I did ever get another sling, I might do that again, but I'm not going to. I'm done with slings. No more slings. Juvies only. That is what I'm saying, and I swear I'm sticking to it, and I'm not going to relent when I go sling shopping at the Northern Invert Shop. I mean tarantula shopping, not sling shopping. Mere slip of the forked tongue. Anyway, Teal also did not want to come out of the sling pot, so this is another one that's gone sort of straight in. I'm trying to like take a glance at where he is, and he's like right at the back. So I'm just tipping a bit of the soil in because it's got springtails, and I'm just tipping them in. There's a bit of cricket that didn't get eaten, but I just sort of tipped out there. It was feeding day the other day, so everyone got fed. But yeah, he's right at the back there, and I was just like, it's not going to happen, even though I did try. It's just not going to happen. So all of them got very easily rehoused, didn't have a problem with this, which was nice for a change. So leave me, please, an internet thumbs up, a like and subscribe if you can. Hopefully I'll see you again next time. Thanks so much for tuning in.